Welcome back to Final Fantasy 15. And it's time to do the next episode here. Episode Prompto. So let's just get into it. Where did Prompto get all these clothes? A schism splits the royal retinue when Noctis inadvertently pushes Prompto from atop a speeding freightliner. Seemingly betrayed by his best friend, Prompto suppresses feelings of sadness and trudges through the snow in search of answers. Interesting. So, it reads as if Prompto does think Noctis did that on purpose. Which, I mean, he did do it on purpose, but Noctis was just tricked. Several days later.
It's freezing out here.
Compelling gameplay right here.
No. What a way to go.
Raised in a common Lucian household, the often despondent Prompto enjoyed little familiarity with his adoptive parents. A chance encounter with Crown Prince Noctis inspired a change of heart, however. He began to better himself in order to impress and ultimately befriend his loyal classmate. That's what Prompto used to look like?
My whole life, all I ever wanted was friends. But no one ever wanted me back. So when I finally found people who did want me, I did everything I could to make them stay. And ever since then, I've lived my life in fear. That one day they'd find out who I really was, and they wouldn't want me anymore. It's gone. What is this place?
Research log year 722, day 189. I received a proposal regarding a way to improve the infantry's performance by leaps and bounds. Outfit the troopers with Magitech cores. Preliminary tests suggest sublimating demons for fuel will result in an unstable infantry unfit for the field. If the calculations he provided are correct, though, this could solve all our problems. The Deathless Project marks the advent of a new age. No longer will our soldiers fall on the field of battle. The Empire shall rise, and soon all the world shall bask in our glory.
A New Hope. Construction finished today on the first Magitech production facility. Rising military star and leading authority on Magitech, versatile Besithia, has been selected to oversee the plant's operation. Reports say Besithia will relinquish his field duties in order to serve at the compound full time.
Scanning production code. Unit 05953234 confirmed. Warning. This unit has been compromised.
What's going on?
Initiating retrieval of compromised unit.
She still remembers you after all these years.
Huh? What gives?
We can't have you spilling blood here. Although to most, this compound is known only as the first Magitech production facility. Birthplace of the myriad Magitech troopers and demons the Empire holds dear. To you, this place should have some sentimental value. After all, it is your home, sweet home.
Shut up.
I'm not the one who almost killed you.
You're up.
You really ought to take a rest. Perhaps the estimable Chief Besithia will help heal that broken heart of yours.
Who the hell is that?
Oh, how quickly they forget. But fear not. I've no doubt a reunion would refresh your memory.
I'm gonna find them. Wherever they are.
I just got here. I don't see why I need to rest just yet, game. Huh. I'm probably can actually do some melee here. But damn, I kind of wish they would have found a way to give me this in the main game.
Let's do this. Shoo! Shit. Was he telling the truth about this place?
Research log, year 722, day 294. I acted on the proposal mentioned in my log of day 189. My attempts to infuse the troopers' Magitech cores with demonic energy proved successful. Only in the most basic sense, however. While the soldiers are indeed deathless, they are far from fit for fighting. Thus, I decided to take a different approach. Rather than relying on demons to power the Magitech infantry, why not use humans instead? Frankly, I had never considered employing my fellow man in any Magitech-related experiments. But countless men and women succumb to the plasmodia each day. Rather than let them die victims of an ignominious disease, why not help them ascend to nobler heights? I've lost many a comrade on the field of battle, and I've no intention of allowing any more of their deaths to go in vain.
How could he even think of using those innocent people for his twisted experiments?
guess a very young Prompto was one of them.
I can't let them find me.
Can you crouch?
Yoink!
Research log here 722, day 339. Another day, another mental breakdown. All my tests so far have resulted in the former soldiers suffering ego deaths. Today, however, I developed a new hypothesis. I will continue to sublimate demonified humans to harvest the miasma. But if a sense of self is the source of these snacks, why not inject infants with the plasmodia instead? We've little time. If we are to combat the Lucian threat, we must explore new options. I, too, will set aside my personal misgivings and do what I must for the Empire.
What kind of a maniac experiments on kids? Everything about this place gives me the creeps. Ready or not? I can do this.
Can I do that? Playing as Prompto in the base game? Use a crack shot?
Research log, year 722, day 294. I acted on the proposal mentioned in my log of day 189. My attempts to infuse the troopers' Magitech cores with demonic energy proved successful. Only in the most basic sense, however. While the soldiers are indeed deathless, they are far from fit for fighting. Thus, I decided to take a different approach. Rather than relying on demons to power the Magitech infantry, why not use the humans? Frankly, I had never considered employing my fellow man in any Magitech-related experiment. But countless men and women succumb to the plasmodia each day. Rather than let them die victims of an ignominious disease, why not help them ascend to die? I've lost many a comrade on the field of battle. I have no intention of allowing any more of their deaths to go in vain.
How can he even think of using those innocent people for his twisted experiments?
I see.
That was a close one.
can't see me shooting at him. Well, I got a success.
Target detected. Eliminate immediately. Commence elimination of compromised unit.
What? How the fuck are y'all still alive?
I've just gotta find my way out. So cold.
Research log year 736, day 123. It seems my laboratory is not nearly as secure as I once believed. Some thief, likely Aleutian, made off with one of my experiments. Absconding with a single infant will do nothing to enlighten them of the grandeur of my research. That said, I will see to it such an incident never arises again. I've posted Magitech troopers around the facility and instructed them to keep a vigilant watch. It is their home, after all.
The kingdom kidnapped one of those infants? Does that mean I... No, it couldn't be. There's no way.
Prototype numbering instructions. In order to better monitor the large number of new Magitech models entering production, the Imperial Defense Council motions to reform the coding system as follows.
We've all got the same barcodes.
Research log, year 723, day 70. I pondered how I might find the necessary number of infants. Then it dawned on me, why not make them myself? If I clone them from my own genes, I can eliminate the pesky process of breeding them. Mass production remains a pipe dream for now, but I'm confident I can create a massive infantry once the process picks up. If everything goes according to plan, the Empire will boast a 1,000,000-man army in no time at all.
All this time, those things I've been fighting have been...
Research log year 722. Day 189. I received a proposal regarding a way to improve the infantry's performance by leaps and... Research log year 722, day 294. I acted on the proposal mentioned in my log of day 189. My attempts to infuse the troopers' Magitech cores with demonic energy proved successful. Only in the most basic sense, however. While the soldiers are in... Research log here 722, day 339. Another day, another mental breakdown. All my tests so far have resulted in the former soldiers suffering ego deaths. Today, however, I developed a new hypothesis. I will continue to sublimate demonified humans to harvest the miasma. But if a sense of self is the source of these snacks, why not inject infants with the plasmodia instead? We've little time. If we are to combat the Lucian threat, we must explore new options. I, too, will set aside my personal misgivings and do what I must for the Empire. Research log, year 723, day 70. I pondered how I might... Research log, year 736, day 123. It seems my laboratory is not some thief absconding with his that set. I've posted magic...
The kingdom...
Research log, year 723, day 70. I pondered how I might find the necessary number of infants. Then it dawned on me, why not make them myself? If I clone them from my own genes, I can eliminate the pesky process of breeding them. Mass production remains a pipe dream for now, but I'm confident I can create a massive infantry once the process. Research log year 7. It seems my research log year 723, day 70. I pondered how I might find the necessary number of infants. Then it dawned on me, why not make them myself? If I clone them from my own genes, I can eliminate the pesky mass production. If everything goes according.
So Prompto's just a clone of that guy?
Target detected. Eliminate immediately. Commence elimination of compromised unit.
Not good!
Hello? You idiots ran right by me. What is going on here? Cool.
Lucky me. How could he do that? Who? What am I?
Termination report. Following specimens have been eradicated. All 23 samples listed have been incinerated to avoid potential demonification of personnel.
Is somebody in there? Ugh. Deep breaths.
So Prompto is just a clone of that guy? these
friend,
Empire people
do you
that
recall the child who was stolen from this facility?
all these Empire people that get shown like once early in the game.
Solutions absconded with.
Precisely. I thought you might like to see the fine young man he's become these 20-odd years later. So as thanks for bringing your pets to Insomnia, I've brought the boy to you. The time has come to meet your maker. Any questions for Daddy, dearest? Father and son. Oh, how I love bringing families together.
No! It's not true! You're wrong, damn it!
Yeah, I remember Prompto was something.
I don't care what he says. This place will never be my home. My home is in Lucis. Not here.
I remember Prompto was something after playing Final Fantasy 15 7 years ago. I didn't know exactly what. I feel like the base game doesn't really explain it very good at all, but probably because they're withholding a lot of it for this episode, right? I think this episode in particular.
Research log year 756, day 98. Finally, my demon-infused Magitech armor is complete. I have christened my creation Diamond Weapon. It has exhibited an extremely unstable psyche, immediately unleashing unmitigated horrors upon activation. Its destructive capabilities, however, are indeed beyond compare. Not even the impenetrable Insomnia could withstand its onslaught. Why, the Crown City would fall in a mere matter of minutes. The Stone of Legend will soon be mine. To think that in less than a month's time, the crystal will be mine to play with as I please.
So he's the one behind the attack on Insomnia. He planned the whole thing. Everything we lost that day is gone because of him.
Yeah, I think this game, or this, I think this episode in particular, it's kind of frustrating me how all the stuff was kept out the base game and put into the episode, in this episode. And you can say that about episode Ignis too a little bit. And even chapter 13 verse 2, just kind of seeing more of the Emperor who you see once, maybe twice in the beginning of the base game, and then he just disappears. Like I really think Final Fantasy 15 they shot themselves in the foot by keeping shit out the base game and leaving it for DLC episodes. I mean, I don't necessarily mind DLC stuff, but I don't think any story should be a part of them. Maybe there's some exceptions out there, but I just think 15's story could have it could have had so much to gain if all the content of this episode Ignis, even chapter 13 verse 2, if all that was just in the base game. Episode Gladius is actually something that I really don't mind that being a DLC episode, because it was just kind of like a side adventure for Gladius. You know, it really didn't have any major implications of the main plot of 15, right? It was just a quest that Gladius went off and did to make himself better. And you know, I know I've criticized episode Gladius. And I said I didn't really care for it, and I guess, you know, I guess you can say because it wasn't a plot heavy DLC episode that hurt it. Because it is true, like episode Ignis and this episode, they're more interesting because they do have juicy plot in them. Episode Ignis's plot, I can mostly excuse. I think the only thing about episode Ignis is it did show more Ravis, and Ravis is another character. He's not as bad off as some of these other old people characters in Final Fantasy, like in the main plot of this game. But Ravis is another character you don't see a whole lot of in the base game, and you get to see a lot more of him in episode Ignis. And you also get to see that other general. You see Ravis kill him, so you see what happens to him in episode Ignis. So the bottom line here is that episode Ignis was almost, it almost didn't have anything about it I disliked, but it did a little bit, because I just felt like because episode Ignis existed and they put plot in that they could have put in 15, or more so that Ravis and that general guy got showed off in that, and you got to see what happened to that general guy. That stuff you don't get to see unless you buy episode Ignis, and in the base game, when you play it for the first time, it's kind of like you feel like you don't see enough of Ravis, and that general guy just disappears. So again, it's like they left out plot in the base game just to have it in a DLC episode. And I just think 15, especially just the base game of 15, it was just lacking in some areas of the story, because characters show up once and then they disappear and stuff like that. And it's just weird. And it hurt the base game. It hurt this game when it first came out. If this game came out, and let's just say all of episode Gladius, Ignis, and Prompto were incorporated into the base game, and all the plot you see in those episodes are shown off in the base game, I think that tremendously helps the story. Maybe I shouldn't say tremendously, but I think it helps the story. I think it would have left a better taste in players' mouths. I just think episode Prompto here so far, and there's still more to see, but I think so far it's been the most egregious. It's been the most egregious of having plot in this episode that really feels like it could have been in the base game, but they just left it out on purpose just sell it as DLC, you know? Like this guy being in this episode, you see him once in the main game, and then he disappears, but he's in this episode. Just kind of a better explanation of what Prompto is in this game, or is in this DLC, and not so much the base game. Diamond weapon. His Imperial Majesty Ledolus Autocapped. It is with great pride I inform your Radiance that development has finished on the new Demon Armor, codenamed Diamond Weapon. I encourage your Radiance to visit the first production facility at your Radiance's earliest convenience. I am most confident the final product will prove to your Radiance's liking. Yeah, it just all comes down to preference, really. Because something about Episode Ignis, I don't mind that you don't see what happens, what caused Ignis to lose his eyesight until Episode Ignis. That just doesn't really bother me personally. I guess because it doesn't really feel like anything's missing in the base game because of not explaining that. You know what I mean? It just doesn't really, it didn't really bother me personally that getting the lore that, oh, Ignis actually used the ring and fought Arden to protect Noctis, and that's why he lost his eyesight. That bit of lore doesn't really bother me, that we didn't see that in the base game, only in the episode Ignis, because not knowing that in the base game didn't really take away from the base game. Like, there wasn't anything that felt missing. You know what I mean? Showing off Ravis and that general guy, and Ravis killing him in Episode Ignis, makes it just feel like Ravis's presence and that general guy's presence in the base game is missing. If we got to see Ravis more and that general guy more, or hear about them more, got some better explanations of stuff, maybe it wouldn't have felt maybe their presence in the episode Ignis wouldn't have felt so kind of egregious in a way. Because they wouldn't have, the base game wouldn't have felt like it was missing anything. I'm just kind of talking in circles now. I guess the bottom line here, what I'm trying to say is, this game does, the DLCs in this game, in the base game, it does feel like they purposely had some stuff that they could have put in the base game, but they just saved it for DLC to sell it to you later. It does feel that way. It's not the most egregious thing. It could have. It's not. I just think Final Fantasy's base game story just felt lacking. It just felt lacking. You know, like I've said earlier, characters are in it, and then they go missing, and they vanish, and you don't see from them again. You know, I mean, basically, there's just a lot of characters in the Empire. I mean, really, every character in the Empire, even Ravis, they just feel like they go missing. Or in Ravis's case, he just didn't get shown off enough. But the Emperor, you see him once, maybe twice in the base game, but then he goes missing. The General guy, you see him once, and then he goes missing. Unless you, I guess you can't see him a second time if you get that optional quest in the optional quest of taking on the military base. The scientist dude in this episode, you see him once in the base game and then he just goes missing. You know, it just feels weird. And I guess honestly, they should, I think perhaps that it would have been better off if they weren't in the base game at all. They just existed in these episodes. I just really don't like the idea that game companies withhold stuff in base games just to resell it to you later in DLC. You know, I don't want to sound like a DLC hater. I mean, DLC can be cool and fun. But I guess I just kind of feel like DLC should just be more something of after the game is already released, they come up with something else to add to the game. Like if the game's super successful, it's sold very well, people love the game, and they're like, oh, let's capitalize on this and let's add something into the game. Give them something else. You know, honestly, I don't see anything wrong with that. But just the fact that you're making a game and you're like, oh, well, let's not put this, that, and this in the game. Let's hold it for DLC so we can resell it to people. I think that's where issues start to pop up. Yeah, I know I've rambled and rambled right here.
What's the matter? Have you never seen a man turn before? If those Lucians hadn't intervened, you could have turned too. Because you were cloned from this genius's genes, born of my own flesh and blood. You are but one of millions, created to serve our great empire in the Magitech infantry.
To serve you?
Yes. And now you've finally come home to Niflheim, my son.
Shut up! You're wrong. I'm a Lucian! I am not one of your experiments!
Not anymore. Now, you're nothing but a failure. I ought to return you whence you came. Perhaps then you might serve some useful purpose.
Never!
With your help, my ascension to divinity is now all but complete. Soon, neither the kings of Lucis nor the gods themselves will be able to challenge my reign.
I'm interested in what would have happened if I didn't hit R1 there. Would I have just gotten the game over, or would the scene played out a little differently?
Look what you've done. You've gone homicidal. No, patricidal.
No.
You lose your friends and murder your family. Now you've no one left.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Vital functions decreasing. Plasmodium activity index increasing. Demonification complete. Initiating transfer to Unit XDA 1002. Immortalis.
You always play hard to get like this?
Aranea!
Save it, Blondie. On your feet. So this is that new model they're working on. I don't know what's got you so shook, but you can deal with it later. Let's move. I'm only gonna say this once. Lose your will to live and you lose all hope of me helping your sorry ass. Got it?
Target detected.
Alright, just hold up here. Because I think I am going to end this one here. This episode ran. Well, it ended up running long because of me rambling. But yeah, this is where I'm going to end this. You know, all in all, at the end of the day, I wanted to, you know, I'm kind of hating on the episode, but I'm not hating on it. I just hate, you know, like I said, I just hate the idea of holding stuff back that could have easily have been in the base game, but they held it back to resell it to you later. Like, I hate the idea of it, and I just feel like this game overall, in my opinion, has been the most egregious of it so far. I mean, there's a strong argument for episodicness, maybe even a stronger argument for that one. But I think so far it's been more. I think this one seems a little bit more egregious to me. But if you take all that aside, like, it's still been a fun and interesting episode. I kind of wish Prompto did play more like how he plays, and when you can play as him in the base game. Or he just has his basic gun he can use, and then he has his rocket launcher and his machine gun and his grenades, and if you run out of ammo you can just switch to something else and use that to once out of ammo, and then you can switch to something else, and eventually your ammos will refill. It's not as fun to me how it is here, and you kind of have to like pick up the new guns and find them, and I guess it's more realistic though, in a sense. But yeah, until next time.